video finds you happy, healthy, and safe. My name is Rhonda with Rhonda's Craft Frenzy. I appreciate you spending your time here with me today, so thank you so much for that. Today, I'm kicking off my Easter series. Super excited to share all these wonderful ideas I have with you today. I love Easter, and knowing that the warm weather is right around the corner makes me one happy lady. So let's get right to it. I'll beat you to the craft table. I started out with one of those rugs from the Dollar Tree. I gave it a good coat of Krylon paint in the color of matte clamshell. And once that was dry, I flipped it. I glued on a piece of non-slip material to the bottom, and then I trimmed it around the edges so that it didn't poke out underneath it. I had these Easter bunnies, and I also had this Easter wooden sign. They both came from the Dollar Tree from last year. And I laid them out in a pattern that I liked, and I spray painted over the top of them, this time using a metallic copper color. And I did a really heavy coat on that. The last thing I did was to remove the pieces from the rug, after it was dry, of course. I painted in the spots where the bunnies and the Happy Easter was, because I wanted it to be a little bit more prominent. If I had white spray paint, I wouldn't have had to do this step, but it worked and it was the result I was looking for. This was super easy, super fun, and a perfect little addition to add to your threshold for the Easter time. For the next DIY, I also used a lot of remnants from my last year's stash. My Dollar Tree doesn't have a lot of Easter stuff out yet, so I had to use what I had, which worked out fine. I started out with 6 painter sticks and 2 of those little wooden boxes that all came from the Dollar Tree, and I stained them with my favorite antique wax color. I also had a metal bunny sign, and I spray painted that with the same clamshell matte color that I used in my first DIY. I had these little bunny pieces. They're part of a package with a bunch of different bunny parts that you can put together yourself. They were from last year as well. I used 2 of the pom-poms, 1 small one and 1 big one, and the ears that came in the package. I also used a felt bunny. I got this in a package, I believe last year. There was a bunch of different colors in it. I just picked the pink color. I punched 6 holes in it with my crocodile. And then I also used the eyes in it, and these pieces are going to help me build the feet for the bunny. So I took those stained rulers that were now dry and 2 giant craft sticks. I attached them together using hot glue first, then I stapled them for a stronger hold. I attached the little boxes in the same manner. I have these cute little carrots. I thought they were the cutest things ever. I pulled out the green that was on top because I really didn't like that too much. And I used a piece of boxwood greenery just to make it look a little bit more realistic, and I thought it made them super cute. I did this to all 3 of my carrots. For the center of the boxes, I used these pool noodles that I had, and they worked perfect. I cut 2 pieces to fit into the box, and then I used the point of my glue gun to melt that down, added a bit of glue, stuck my carrots into place. Then, to not see the blue, I covered it with some Spanish moss, and then I added the pieces of greenery left over from the stems of my carrots and glued that little bunny right in the front. I found these white letters at the Dollar Tree, and I think they're new because I've never seen them before. I used the O and the H. I like these, but you can use your Cricut, you can use your Silhouette if you prefer. I always try to give people options that don't have them. I glued the metal bunny sign, and then I put the stickers in and put a coat of Mod Podge over that so that my sign said, "Oh Bunny." Once that was done, I wasn't happy with the empty space in the background, so I again went to my stash from last year and I found this cute wooden carrot. I glued that into place on the back wall or fence or whatever you want to call that back piece. I glued some orange burlap around the planter, and then I added a bow to the front of that. And I added one of those little chalkboard picks, wrote carrots 25 cents, and I just love this little piece. I hope you guys do as well. I stained a little wooden crate, of course, with my favorite antique wax for this last DIY. And then I picked up this cute little tractor that I saw at the Dollar Tree. Wasn't really crazy about its color, so I just painted it over with Waverly's moss-colored chalk paint. Then I took these 2 noisemakers that I had got from the party section of the Dollar Tree with 3 little wooden pieces, and I spray painted them each black. I painted an entire package of those small foam Easter eggs in blue, pink, and white. I did go back later and put a second coat over the white in an oatmeal colored chalk paint, and I like that a little bit better. And I speckled them with very watery black paint. I just had my hand over the eggs with a really wet paintbrush in order to get those black speckles on there. So here I started my assembly for the wheels. I took those noisemakers, I pushed a skewer stick through them, I hot glued it in the middle, and then I added a little bit of glue in each end, and I added wood beads on either end. I painted the beads with silver to kind of look like the center of a wheel, and I glued this piece with two little wooden blocks on the bottom of the wagon. The little blocks just kind of held it in place better for me. I added the 3 Jenga blocks to a wooden skewer stick to make my handle. I glued that to the wagon and the back of my tractor, and I used E6000 along with hot glue just to kind of firm it up and get a better hold. I cut a piece of floral foam to the size, and then I glued a piece of brown burlap just to camouflage that green a little bit. I put it in the wagon, and then I put some Spanish moss over that and glued my eggs into place. I had these cute little bunny heads and feet. I thought they were super cute and I wanted to use them to embellish my wagon. And I also made a free egg sign with another one of those little chalkboard skewers for the inside of the wagon. And then I did one for the front of the wagon with a little window cling that I had that said Happy Easter. How cute is that? So once my wagon was all done, I thought that the tractor needed a little bit something more. So I cut another one of those little chalkboard signs down to size. And then I wrote Happy Farms with a silver Sharpie, and I glued that to one of the doors on the front of the tractor. And that completes my first Easter DIY. I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did creating them.